Thanks for joining us tonight, Blade.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. This is what you're doing is pretty cool, so I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So I know a little bit about Blade, but for our viewers and/or listeners, because this is also going on YouTube as well, who is Blade Hall?
Oh, what a question. I'm just an average Joe. That's the best way to put it, you know? Born and raised in Ocala. Just turned 23 years old and just got my associate's degree. So just working my way through college. But on the side, obviously I do music and filmmaking and that's pretty much it. There's not much to me.
Whatever, Blade. He's gonna call himself a old Joe Smo, but this Joker has a creative ability like I've never seen. I definitely look up to him in his video work as a journalist myself. I'm always like, bro, we need to collab. We need to get this going. So hopefully, eventually, I can finally sweet talk him into collaborating with me because his work
Yes,
is just so incredible.
yes. I appreciate it.
When did you realize you had a passion for music?
Well, it definitely, honestly, the funny thing about it, music started off as a joke to me. Back in high school, we used to have rap battles in the cafeteria, and it was just something to let off steam, hang out with the guys, make jokes. So I would dabble with parody music videos, and I didn't really have a passion for music. It wasn't until I graduated high school and I got bored one day and I said, you know what, let's make a song for real. And actually, it was a feedback that I got from not only my friend group, but just random strangers who were like, hey, this is actually pretty good. So I think that's where it stemmed from, just to get the ball rolling when it comes to music.
Absolutely, I'm an avid fan, so I'm fanboying over here tonight. Cause I always play Blade's music. Especially the recent one that we're gonna talk about here in a little bit, Ghost. All of his music's great, but Ghost is Ghost is fire. Ghost is where it's at. Where did you get your inspiration? Where do you get your inspiration for your music?
uh, Inspiration. That's, as an artist, as yourself, you would know that it comes from everything. Um, I think the biggest thing that inspires me when it comes to music is just being raw. A lot of music today, it's people just put out stuff and it doesn't really reflect who they truly are. I think my biggest inspiration is definitely just what I go through, the people that I meet, the places that I see. Um, Definitely I tend to lean more on the emotional aspect, how I'm feeling in that very moment or past feelings. That's just pretty much what draws out um, where I get my music from.
Absolutely. And some of your work that I like is you use your story and your platform to talk about mental health. I
Oh,
think it's very important, especially as men. We're big macho man, and we're not supposed to cry. We're supposed to be tough. But I can self disclose. I battled depression myself, and I see a counselor every week. And it took me forever to come to that point to realize, like, okay, you need someone to talk to. And at the end of the day, really, whether you have mental health issues or not, I think we all can use an outsider to, just relieve whatever we're feeling, get it off our chest. So I really like that. Some of your video work that you did on that was incredible. It really inspired me, and that's why I'm like, okay, I need to write this book. And you're just, I'm always like, come on, bro, create more content whenever you're in a hiatus. I'm like, when is the content dropping? Cause I love your stuff, man. I love your stuff. No joke.
I appreciate it.
Who would you say is someone who motivates you or inspires you, and why?
Mm. Also, great question. I definitely draw on the music side. I could rattle off so many people I look up to and that I listen on a daily basis that definitely, you know, help me create my own style of music. But I think the biggest thing, the best answer I could give you is that I think I motivate myself, if this makes sense. I'm gonna try to put that in the best light I can, but there's an issue where I am never satisfied. I can drop a song, I can create a film, whatever creative alleyway I go to, and then 2 hours later, I'll watch it or listen to it, and I'm just like, that could have been fixed, that could have been better. So I think it's my own reflection when I wake up in the morning. I'm like, you can be better, you can do this better. So yeah, I think I it's healthy to motivate yourself. And
Mhm.
but we could sit here all night and talk about artists and directors and whatnot that I just draw from. But the biggest thing I think is me.
Exactly. I'm glad that you touched on that you're your worst critic. Because for me, with my craft of journalism, I'm my worst critic, and I'm gonna share a personal anecdote here. Like this past week, this past 2 weeks, I had my first two live shots in the studio with my standing chair, and those were incredible moments. And like I did fine, but like after my live shot this week, I messed up at the end. I recovered quickly.
Right, right.
After off camera, I just broke down and cried because like one of my there's some people that there's a lot we have a lot of doubters and a lot of
Oh,
haters,
for sure.
and I always use them as extra motivation. I'll be like, okay, you say I can't do this, you say I can't be a reporter, you say I can't be a journalist. All right, watch me. And so that was one of the things. I had someone that was throwing some haterade around that day. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna know this live shot.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
messed up, and I'm like, oh man, I gave them what they wanted, and I just, I broke down. I'm a perfectionist. It's it's a blessing and a curse at the same
Yes,
time, I
for
would say.
sure. 100%. I agree with that.
So you've wrote a bunch, you made a bunch of music, but what is your favorite song you ever made?
Okay. So there's a song and it's out right now. It's called Calling You Mine. It's only on SoundCloud and YouTube. Still working to get that on the rest of the platforms. However, this song really has been pushed to the side by Ghost and Heartbreaks and Headaches and Guard Down, because those were the songs that really helped me gain traction. But Calling You Mine, I feel like it was a song that I didn't put out for anyone else. I put it out because I was going through a hard time with a past relationship, and then now when I listen to it, it's probably one of the only songs that I can listen to over and over and over, and I'm like, this is a good song. This song right here is my favorite. Yeah, so definitely Calling You Mine. Um, that's my easy number one.
Absolutely. So you're on TikTok, right?
Ah.
And Ghost came out, and you decided to do a cool little fun video. You probably thought nothing of it, but you've gained a huge following on TikTok, and Ghost has kind of went viral. What does that mean to you?
Oh, so funny story. Um, like I said, Ghost was an unfinished product, and that song was just for a previous video. It's only going to be like a 15 to 20-second video, and I actually posted that snippet on TikTok, and it got about almost 100,000 views. And just the comments were, make this a real song, make this a real song. And I was like, all right, I'll give the people I want what they want. So I ended up posting it, and I didn't get anything out of it. I was like, whatever. So you swing the bat, you miss, you got to swing again. So a couple weeks later, I made the one video, and I just woke up to my phone going crazy, like just like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. And I was like, what is going on? I go to TikTok, and it was probably about 2 million right there. You wake up to 2 million views, and people, all over the world just texting me and telling me that their song or my song has helped them in the littlest ways. And I'm just taken back because I was like, this was supposed to be a joke, not a joke, but not something I really put, the pen to the paper. Um, but it did, and it had awesome feedback, and it's I think the traction it gained on TikTok, it definitely motivates myself to say, hey, I can do this. I can really do this, because there's my city in Ocala. We have so many talented artists, and just they give up because they don't necessarily.
Ocala!
Yeah, Ocala 352. Um, but yeah, we have a whole bunch of talent here, and people just the issue with supporting other artists and small guys. But this right here definitely proved to myself that you don't necessarily need to live in LA or New York or Miami or Atlanta to be successful in your craft. So that's the biggest thing TikTok has taught me, because it's just worldwide. It's just anybody can see your video, and we know how we get on TikTok, and you scroll for hours, and then you just get trapped in a
Yep,
loop.
yep. That's my bedtime. You know, TikTok
Yeah.
puts me to bed. I just stroll, and next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. It's funny that you mentioned like you just posted, you know, a small snippet, and you didn't think it was gonna go anywhere. I had something similar when I had my first live shot 2 weeks ago. I posted a post on Instagram. Not thinking anything of it, like I was happy. I was happy for myself, so I'm like, let me post it, and I tagged two social media platforms, which are like networking sites for journalists all across the country. And I'm like, let me give it a shot and tag them. They're not going to repost it. Overnight, I woke up and journalists from all across the country have been pouring in. They've started following me. I've got an interview with a news station out in California next week, hopefully. Not to work there, but they've started a diversity and inclusion initiative
Yeah.
within their newsroom, and they're like, "Wow, this is incredible! Like, we're doing diversity and inclusion, but the one thing we don't see within news is disability. So, would you mind talking to us in an interview, and we're gonna show it to our corporate, you know, headquarters." So, I'm interested to see where that goes. I don't think I'll be, you know, unless they give me like a major, like once in a lifetime deal. I don't think I'll be moving out to Cali because it just costs too much. But hey, no dream is too big, so
Yeah,
who knows?
exactly. You said it right.
As we've seen with Ghost, you know, you didn't think that was gonna take off.
Yeah, yeah, for
Here
sure.
we are. Well, speaking of Ghost, do we want to play the song for everyone?
Yeah, yeah. We can do it. Go ahead. I mean, would you play it on my end, or you gonna play it on your end?
I have it pulled up on my end. Let me play it. I think
Okay.
the
Yeah.
audio may be a little better.
DJ Drew.
I hope I got the one that was on YouTube with the lyrics. So,
Right, right. Yeah, that's the one.
all right. I hope nobody takes your pain away. Cause you deserve the fucking credit. And all the shit that you done put me through. I wish I never fell in love with you. I don't see what's in your mind. Take me back to simple times when my heart was doing fine. You didn't even need to lie. You didn't even need to lie. It's all the times that you made me feel alone. And I was going through it, but I didn't let you know. You sent another text that I didn't want to see. Wish it wasn't hard for you to love me. Yeah. I run away from all these ghosts. I push away cause I can't get close. Time stops when I try to let go. I hope nobody takes your pain away. Cause you deserve the fucking credit. And all the shit that you done put me through. I wish I never fell in love with you. I don't see what's in your mind. Take me back to simple times when my heart was doing fine. You didn't even need to lie. You didn't even need to lie. I guess you blame it on me. Tell me how you feel when you're not so drunk. And all these college parties with the same old guys. Moving on quick, but I'm not so surprised. And I to miss you. And I don't need you. I hope nobody takes your pain away. Cause you deserve the fucking credit. And all the shit that you done put me through. I wish I never fell in love with you. I don't see what's in your mind. Take me back to simple times when my heart was doing fine. You didn't even need to lie. You didn't even need to lie. I like when this shit bangs.
I got this voice going on. Everyone like that. If that's your kind of music, well, there's plenty more where that came from.
Hey, so after that, where can they find it? Where can they subscribe? You know,
So Ghost is going to be on every major platform. So your typical Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. It just keeps going on and on. It's you put it on a streaming distributing service, and it just you can literally just type in my name, and that's probably going to be the song that pops up.
awesome because that's a bop. That's a bop. There's been many times that I've just been having a good time, and I'm like, hey, let me turn on Blade's song. It's so cool.
There you go.
If someone is just starting out making their own music, like you are, what piece of advice or encouragement would you give them?
Mm, if you're just starting out, I think you don't make music for other people. I think the biggest thing is that you have to like your own music before anybody else will. And that kind of ties back into, you being your biggest critic. But the biggest advice is you have to swing the bat. Music is it shouldn't be something that's forced, nor should it be tailored just for a specific audience. It should be tailored to how you're feeling, what you're going through. And even if you don't want to have a song that has, you know, it's sentimental or not, if it's something you want to talk about, I don't know what's in front of me, crayons. If you want to make a song about crayons, then do that if that makes you happy and if you like the song. But yeah, I think if for people starting out and making music, just make it for yourself. And as you get more comfortable, play it at a party with your friends. That's pretty much how I did it. And I just know a lot of people who put this unreal amount of pressure on themselves because they're like, okay, my first song has to be, the biggest song to ever hit TikTok or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
And that's not. I don't think that's ever the case. I mean, you see people who with breakout songs have been making music for 10, 15 years. So the biggest advice I can give is you know make music for you and solely for you until you get comfortable enough where you're like, all right, now I'm gonna put this everywhere now.
Absolutely, and before you know it, you'll start just creating for you, and then before you know it, you're creating for thousands around the world. So that's
Right.
pretty incredible. Can you tell us a little bit about your creative processes, such as what equipment you use, where you create? I know a little bit about that, and I'm
So,
like, wow, like
yeah.
it like mind
So
blows me.
I yeah, I people do not believe me when I say this, but I actually record all of my music off my phone. And you're probably like, that's not real. So this phone, I don't even know what year this is, 11, I don't know, 8, whatever. Your microphone on your phone is literally awesome. You can like just sing into your voice memos and then drop it into like an editing software. I use which is even really for making music, Adobe Audition because it just comes with my
Sir,
my
know
my
all about
student
that.
yeah my student plan whatever I pay monthly, and I was like, all right, I can mix and master my vocals a little bit. So yeah, I use my phone and then I just drop it back into the program and then I just go to tinkering around with it. Um, but yeah, and then as far as the creative process, I've got a couple OCD moments every time I make music, and I might be exposing myself, but I record in my bedroom, just like any other SoundCloud rapper you've probably heard of. But um, I have to have the lights off. Has to be completely quiet. Like I've had where my parents have walked in, and I'm just like, throwing pillows at them, like get out, interrupting the studio session. Um, but yeah, no, lights have to be off. Uh, and I just this one's gonna be a little goofy, but I have to be in pajamas. Like I've got these pajama pants that are Tabasco bottles, and I
Oh
have
my
to put those
goodness.
on. I just feel comfy. I just use my laptop for the lyrics and my headphones, and I just you know roll with the process.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, see, guys, it's not about the equipment that you have. It's about if you know how to use it.
Yes.
For me in journalism, guess what? I'm about to expose myself here.
Yes.
All my news stories that you've seen have been shot with an iPhone so far. Oh, it's blending in there.
There
iPhone
it
so
goes.
far, because I'm working and hoping to purchase a new DSLR camera soon. They're just so expensive, and I'm lucky and blessed to be at the University of Florida and have access and resources to faculty that have won an Emmy in mobile journalism, right? So they've shot a documentary with their iPhone and won an Emmy award for it. So I am shout out to Kalisha Whitman if she ever watches this. I love her. She's been my God sent angel this semester, and she's taught me that you ain't gotta have that big old camera to make it work. Because I know if you all have seen my news stories within the last 3 weeks, You probably thought I used the big camera, but nope. Secrets out. Use the iPhone. The iPhone. It's crazy because the iPhone, just like you were saying, with the audio equipment, iPhones record better than the big cameras nowadays. It's just wild.
Very wild, very wild. Yeah. For any advice, I know people who have poured thousands of dollars in equipment and then they get the product that's not what they want. And I know people just like me who use their phone for, videography or music, and they just blow people out of the water. So definitely, if you're starting off, um, don't get into the expensive things, because normally the expensive things are going to be more complex. So keep it simple, work your way up, and you can still make great stuff with cheap stuff.
And even with this podcast, I'll expose myself even more. Guess what? We're doing it on Zoom, and I don't have a microphone. Because, I mean, honestly, I was thinking about it. And I'm like, yeah, I can have a microphone. Now, I do have my ring lights and the good lighting. It's all about the lighting. God made me look good, right? But, no. I could, invest in audio equipment and things. But, like, if the person on the other end doesn't have access to that, what's the point?
Exactly.
Especially
Exactly.
doing it remote. Um, so, are there any plans for new music soon, or anything that you can like disclose? Hey, stay tuned for.
So I do actually have about 4 to 5 songs. Okay, I have about six, but there's some of them are just they need to be tweaked. Um, that I was going to plan to just throw into an EP, um, but the past month or so, I've kind of rethought that process. So you dropped a keyword earlier. You said a hiatus, and that is kind of like what I'm in right now. And it's not. I'm
Wait,
not.
Paul, you
Not a
better
full
get
one.
your butt and start creating. I will come to Ocala if I have to drive
I
my
knew you wouldn't like that.
if I have to drive my electric wheelchair to your house to Ocala. It may take me hours, but I'll do it.
But yeah, no, it's just a small break. I think it's healthy for me to take a step back and look what I have created, and then just kind of get a new wave of inspiration and whatnot. But yes, new music will be coming. I don't have a date. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I'll drop a song literally in the middle of the night and just be like, "Hey everybody, I put a new song out." And then sometimes I'm like, "All right, this is coming out in 2 years from now." Like, it's just, you never know with me. My brain is literally, I have like squirrels in there just bouncing off the wall. So
Yeah, me too. I'm all over the place. Well, I'm just gonna say if you want to drop one out on April 12th, that's like the greatest day of all time. That's the day the legend was born, the one, the only
the
Drew.
legend.
So if you want to drop the song on that date, I wouldn't be opposed.
Honest, that's not a bad date either. I mean, that's soon enough. We'll see what we can make happen. Honestly, I'm serious.
Stay tuned on that one, y'all. The last question. This is kind of like my signature question. I ask everyone that comes on the show and everyone that will come on the show this question, and they're like, they get stumped by this one and they have to think about it. What do you hope the Blade Hall legacy will be?
Oh yeah, yeah. You stopped me right in my tracks. I think I want people to really be themselves. I want people to look at me and through my art and just be like, he didn't try to be anybody else. Um, I gosh, what a question. I could sit here and maybe have a little cocktail and then probably sit here and talk for hours. But um, yeah, I think I just want people to know that it's okay to be themselves. And as cliche as it sounds, it's just because I struggled for a long time trying to be somebody who I wasn't. And I think music and film has saved me from potential avenues that I shouldn't have ended up down. So yeah, I guess my art, I just want to capture reality, what's real, and what's real is all of us. So that's the best answer you're going to get right now. You ask me maybe 2 hours from now, I'll write you out a whole essay or something.
Absolutely, Blade. And sometimes, I'm a positive person, right? But everyone's like, Drew's always happy. But as you know, I have my days where I'm not happy. And, I reach out to you and you just, I don't know. you just inspire me, and I'm grateful for the friendship that we have, and I hope that we can, hang out someday, collaborate, because you are truly a special individual, and you're helping so many, myself included, whether you know it or not. So I don't know. I just appreciate you, and I thank
That
you for
those
coming
comments
on
right
today.
there. Yeah, no, that comment right there is why I continue doing what I mean. Obviously, I do it for me, but then again, like that right there just made my night. That's all you had to say. But and it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 people saying the same thing. All that matters is that you just said that. So one person is enough for me. So um, we will hang out. I'm a 35-minute drive from Gainesville. We'll make something happen. I know we've been putting it off just because we get busy and whatnot, but
Busy and COVID and like a
during
bunch of
COVID,
combinations.
I don't we don't get too political on that, but I cannot wait
Exactly.
until this is behind us. But
So, but yeah, I always say if I can change one life and let them know that they're worth it through my work as well, I've made you know I've done my job. I made a difference in the world, and that's what I hope to be. And I think that you're on this a similar path. Can't talk tonight. Um,
getting
but
choked up over there.
So lastly, we talked about ghosts. We talked about who you are. If anyone's watched this or listened to this tonight and they're like, wow, I need to know more about Blade Hall, I need to subscribe to all his music, how can they do that? How can they connect with you?
Well, if you're seeing this podcast or this interview through your social media, I'm sure you're gonna tag me. So
Hmm.
yeah, so my Instagram handle is HallPassForBlade. Don't ask how I got that Instagram
I
username.
love it. So don't
It's so old, but I just
don't ever change it. Don't ever change it.
it just stuck. So yeah, it's my Instagram. Everything else, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Don't hit me up on Facebook. That's for my parents. But it's just Blade Hall, and yeah. And before you guys ask, because I always get these question. No, my name is not a nickname. I unfortunately was born with this name, and people think I am a liar or a vampire killer. Shout out to Wesley Snipes, though. But
Hey,
yeah,
it's original. You don't hear, at least I haven't heard of too many blades. So just
right, right.
it's original, just like your creation. So, man, just keep being you and keep being who you are. And I know you've already done great things, but I just know that you're gonna do even bigger things. And I'm just waiting for the right person and the right record label or something to get a hold of Ghost because
Right, right. Hey, you know,
I'm manifesting it now. It's taking off. I'm gonna be able to say I knew Blade Hall when. So.
hey, and I'm gonna be able to say I know Drew. So you're gonna be right there next to me every step of the way. You've been nothing but awesome, and I'm extremely grateful for not only just being on this podcast with you, but just being your friend. So I appreciate you, Drew.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Blade.
All right, you
Well,
guys take care.
folks, you've either listened to or watched another episode of the Drew's News podcast. I've had such an incredible time with the one, the only, from Ocala, Florida, Blade Hall. If you or someone you know has a testimony you'd like to share, or if you know someone who's doing something good in the world, or if you just have a topic that you would like me to cover, I always say whatever content you all want to see, that's what I want to do. It's not just about me, it's about you all too. So let me know. You can either get at me via email at dsreports@gmail.com or follow me on all social media platforms at DrewDsReports. And as always, remember, if you can dream it, you can drew it. Have a good night.